Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Gigi. So today we are going to be solving the October-November 2024 paper 2, which includes document production, databases, and presentations. So we're going to be starting with the document production part, all the way to databases, and then later on, presentations. Okay, so we have been supplied with the following source files. These are the source files that have been supplied with. I've already extracted mine. Here they are. And then Task 1 evidence, open the file N2402 evidence. Make sure your name, center number, and cabinet number appear on every page of this document. So meaning you're going to put them in the header section of our evidence document. Then you save this document in your work area as evidence, followed by your cabinet number, for example, evidence, like that. So you need to have this saved because you shall need it for screenshots as you move along. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up mine. There you go. Then I'll put my details in the header. So select add header here, and then I can choose this section. Then I'll add my names on the left here, center number in the middle, and then candidate number on the right. So there we go. Then I can go ahead and save it. Uh, so I'm going to save it I like creating a work area folder right here. So I don't like saving my work in the confidential or just anywhere. So I'm going to create my work area folder here, and then in there is where I'm going to be storing my work. So this is a Word document, and the file name is evidence followed by your candidate number, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and minimize this, and I continue with the question. So task 2 document. You're going to edit a document about organic farming. The company uses a corporate house style for all their documents. So paragraph styles must be created and applied as instructed. Okay, so using a suitable software package, open the file N2402 organic, and then the page setup is set to A4, landscape orientation, 2 centimeter margins. Yeah, do not make any changes. So you're not supposed to make any changes to the document. 3 paragraph styles have already been created and applied to the text. Do not make any changes to these. Again, do not make any changes to that. And then all you have to do is just save the document in your work area with the file name organic. And make sure it is saved in the format of the software you're using, meaning you're going to save it as a Word document because you're using Microsoft Word for this task. Then place in your evidence document a screenshot to show this file has been saved and make sure there is evidence of the file type. All right, so let me go ahead and open up this file, organic. There you go. There we go. So remember, they told us don't change anything. All we have to do is save it as, we're going to save it as, what was the name again? Organic, yeah. So file, save as, I'm going to browse. I'm going to save my in my work area right here, and the name is organic, and save it as a Word document. Save. Now, for screenshot purposes, you need to go to your work area and you capture the file saved right here. So you have to save it showing the format of the software you're using, and I'm using Microsoft Word, so this is the screenshot you need. So I'll get my screenshot right here. There we go. And then I'll take it straight to my evidence document and I'll paste it right there. Okay, so that is done. Step 1, remove any page breaks from the organic document. So there must be some page breaks in here, otherwise we wouldn't have been told to do that. So to get page breaks, you're going to click here. This section is called the show and hide paragraph mark. So when I click it, it shows me where each paragraph is and why it ends. So if there is a page break, it should indicate, yeah, here we go. So there's a page break right here. Now to remove it, you just have to select that area and tap delete. Okay, tap delete on the keyboard and it goes away. There's another one right here. Select it and then tap the delete on your keyboard and it's away. So there you go. We have two page breaks and they're gone now. Okay, so you can go ahead and remove that. Next, so this is done as well. Place in this document a right-aligned header with automated page numbers. So in the header on the right, I'm going to be putting page numbers. So I'm going to select here and I tap header, say add header. I'll choose this option here. So right aligned, so on the right here, they need page number. So I'll select the placeholder on the right. I'll go to page number. Remember, when the header and footer section is active, you have these buttons active as well, which you can choose to put anything in the header. So I'll select page number, current position, because that's the position I selected, then plane number 1. So I'm on page 2, and now back to page 1, that is fine. And then a right aligned footer on a single line with the text guide produced by. So there's nothing else that is required in the header. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these extra placeholders here, and then I can go to footer, then I select this option as well, and now on the right it has the text guide produced by, full colons, space, then your name, comma, center number, and candidate number. So right here it's going to be guide produced by, then full colon, space, your name, comma, center number, and candidate number. All right, so I think these extra placeholders are not needed, so you can go ahead and delete them. All right, so make sure all the footer details are on a single line. Yes, they are. The head and footer are aligned to the right margin of the page. Yes, this is the right, and that is the right hand side. No other text or placeholders are included. We remove those. And then the headers and footers are displayed on all pages. Yes, they are. Okay, so you can double click anywhere in the document to deactivate the header and footer section. Okay, so here we are. That is also done. Step 4, sorry, select the subheading, what is organic farming, and the following text up to and including the paragraph ending to looking after this the license. Then you're going to change the page layout so that only this text is displayed in 2 columns of equal width with a 1.5 centimeter space between the columns. So we're going to look for this paragraph, and then from that paragraph, we're going to select all that text from there all the way to the end, to this uh, line of sentence, and then we put 2 columns there. So what is organic farming? Where is that? Oh, it's right here. So from here all the way to the last sentence is to looking after the license. So to looking after, oh, it's right here, to looking after the license. Okay, so that was easy to get. So all this all the way up to here. Yep. Okay, so I told you're going to put 2 columns. So you go to layout, columns, more columns, 2. I told you never mess with the width, you only mind about the spacing. So the spacing is 1.5. So I'll select 1.5 like that, and nothing else is there. Then I can click OK, and you can see that my text has been divided into columns, and this space right here is the 1.5 spacing between them. So this is also done. Then sort the bulleted list from mixed crops for pest control into alphabetical order. So the bulleted list is right here. So you're going to put it in alphabetical order. Okay, so you select the text, then you can go to the home tab and you use this button right here. It's called sort. So click it and then make sure this is ascending. And when you click OK, you'll see that it has ascended. Goes B, C up to that. That is how ascending that is done. All right, that is done as well. Then format this list so that a star-shaped bullet replaces the existing bullets. Then the bullets are indented 2 centimeters from the left margin. So let's first change the bullets here. So I'm going to have this text selected as well. Then I'll go to the bullet section and I'll select define new bullet and I'll choose a symbol. Okay, so here we are. Now, you're most likely not going to find the star-shaped bullet right here. So you can click here and look for the option of wide links. All right. So wide links or wing links is where you find most of the uh, of the bullets that you may not find anywhere else. So I'm looking for a star-shaped bullet, and I think I'll need to look for it. Let me do that. So we have some stars here, but we need to look for exactly the one that they're asking for. It is this one with 5 pointers. So I think it is this one. Yeah, it's the one right here. So select it and click OK, apply, and click OK as well. And as you can see, it will replace the other one. All right. Then we're told that the bullets are indented 2 centimeters from the left margin. So you go to paragraph, you can right click and select paragraph, or you can click this small arrow right here and then indentation from the left 2 centimeters. So from the left right here, you can put 2 centimeters like that. So I click OK. Your text is going to be indented 2 centimeters from there from the left. All right. So this is also done. Create and store. We're on step 7 now. Create and store the following style, basing it on the default normal paragraph style. So sometimes people forget this part here and they lose a mark there. So this is very, very important as well. Now, when you're creating a style, make sure that your insertion point or your cursor is not blinking any text. When you create a style, and let's say, for example, your insertion point or your cursor is here, it will, the style will affect where the insertion point is. So what you have to do, what I always do is I always make sure my cursor is in space anywhere, maybe at the bottom of the document, like that. So when I create a style, it is not affecting wherever it is blinking from. So I'm going to create a style now. So I'll go to styles. Let me use the style list here. I'll use this button here called new style down here. Then I'll name it as OF dash subhead. So it's capital OF dash subhead. Okay. Then the font style is serif, and serif is Times New Roman. Then font size is 22. So I'll change this to 22. Center align. So it is center aligned right here. Then bold and italic. So that single line spacing. So I'll go to format, paragraph, single line spacing. Then spacing before is 0, spacing after is 4. So 0 and after is 4. That is fine. However, I have to change this from style based on. I need to select normal. Okay. I need to select. Oh, I should have done that at the beginning. So I have to do everything. All right. So it is okay. It is serif. That is Times New Roman. Okay. Activate that. Then 22. Center aligned. Okay, that's fine. Bold and italic. That is also there. 0 and 4. So 0 before and after is 4. So I may just change that to 4. And it is a single line space. Single line space right there. Okay, so that is that. So click OK. Now I'm going to You can click OK at this stage, or you can go ahead and take a screenshot for that. It is very fine. So let me just take a screenshot from here, and this is fine. You can also include all that, but I like, you know, stopping it from right there. So I can click OK, and as you can see, my style did not affect any text because I was clicking, I was having it at the end here. So I'm putting that in step 7. So step 7 right here. That's where I'm pasting my screenshot, making sure it is very clear. Okay. So style based on normal, check, and then the rest of the settings are also there. Okay. So this is also done. And identify the 5 subheadings in the document and apply the off subhead style to each one. So the 5 subheads, let me start from up. There's this one right here. So there you go. And then the second one is right here. Off subhead. There's organic as well. There's this one as well. And future. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, those are the 5 subheadings. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I can push this down. Yeah, there we go. All right. Back to the question. So this is done as well. Locate the table in the document, then delete the entire column and contents with the heading 2014. So the entire column with the contents, the entire column and contents with the heading 2014. So this is the table and the entire column. So this whole column should be gone. So I'll select that as choose delete columns. So I only have this. Then format the first row of the table so it becomes a single cell with the content center line. So we're going to merge this first row. All right. Okay. So I'm going to select this first row, right click, and then merge cells. Is it center aligned? Yeah, the contents are center aligned. Let me minimize this. So center aligned, there we go. Then format the table so that the table width is set to 10.5 centimeters. So basically they want the table width to be 10.5 centimeters. So you need to make sure that the table is selected. You can use this small icon right here to select the whole table. You can right click and select table properties, or you could actually go to table design and table layout, and then you can change the details from here. But I like going to the table properties section, which gives me all the options I need. So I'll go to center alignment here. Then the table width is set to 10.5 and it is centered. So I've already done this, centered it. Then the width is set to 10.5. So under preferred width here, I'm going to put 10.5 centimeters. Okay. All text in each row displays on one line. We're going to see that. So 10.5 centered. So I click OK. You see that your table will spread across this column right here. So it is fine. Okay. And all the text are displaying on one line. There's no text wrapping. So that is also fine. All right. Then format only the paragraph that starts a physical barrier so that, let's first locate this paragraph right here, the physical barrier. So I think I saw it somewhere. The physical barrier. Where is that? Oh, it's right here. If you can't locate it quite fast, you can use the search the find option, and then you just type in the paragraph, maybe bits of the paragraph, and then it will be able to locate it. So here we are. So this is the paragraph, ends right here. Okay, so what are we supposed to do to that? First of all, they want us to indent it 1.5 centimeters from both the left and right margins. So select it. You can go to paragraph using this arrow here. Indentation on the left and the right is 1.5. So uh, 1.5 right there, and also 1.5 there. Okay, anything else? Okay, that's fine. You can click OK, and then it displays an external 3 to 4 point black border. So they need the border covering this whole paragraph right here. So you can use this button right here. It's called borders. You can select borders and shading. Okay. Then there are two ways you can do that. You can first change the width. The width uh, is supposed to be 3 to 4 points. So you can change the width from here. So you can change the width to 3 because there's only 3 to 4. And then you just, click and apply the borders like that. That is also fine. Or you could actually uh, go to borders and shading. You select box, all right, and then you change the width to 3. All right, and as you can see, it will be applied for you there. So whichever you want to use is also fine. Uh, there we go. Then I can go to shading here, and then I shade it with uh, a 15 to 35% background fill. I can select fill here, uh, 15 to 35. So 15 should be, this is 10. I can choose this, I think. It should be fine. Yeah, that should be okay. So I click OK, I'll have this. All right, so this is fine. And when you print it out, it will still be standing out. Okay, so that's how that is done. All right, spell check and proofread the document. Make sure the list and the table are not split over 2 columns or pages. I have only 2 pages here, and the table is not split. Okay, there are no widows or orphans, so you can select the whole document, Control A on your keyboard. You go back to paragraph, you make sure the line and page break section is selected, and then this option of widow and orphan control is chosen as well. When you click OK, if it finds out any widow or orphan, it's going to eliminate it. So, yep, that is okay. There are no blank pages. We don't have any, only 2 pages. The original styles are maintained. Spacing is consistent. Yeah, spacing is consistent as well. Okay. And then save the document using the same file name as the format in step 1. So let me just quickly check on the spell check. So I'll go to review, then spelling and grammar. My spelling is all good, so that is fine. There's nothing to change there. Okay, so the last step is printing the document. So when you tap Ctrl P on your keyboard, uh, you'll see that you have the 2 pages and everything looks good. All right, and then it means your work is all fine. It is ready for printing. So you save it. Of course, you already saved it earlier, so just save the changes to the document you just completed. Right, so we've come to the end of this task, document production, October, November 2024. So thank you for watching. Now we're going to be doing the presentation part of this paper. See you in the next one.